What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day out there. Birds are chirping and stuff. It's time for another Vikings news dump. Now, we addressed this in a previous video, and we put it on the communities tab. But for those of you who didn't see, because we got a lot of comments about, like, where's the music? I don't know. Like, I know that there's no playbook for, getting back to normalcy, but I just kind of felt like, no music for a week, would be obviously, in the grand scheme of things, it's very small, but nice gesture of respect to the Jacksons, to the Lightons, to the Hazels. So that's what we're gonna do. I don't know, man. Yeah. Something that I do know what we're gonna do is we're gonna be binging some Netflix today as the Netflix documentary Omaha Productions Receiver dropped today. It's season 2. Season 1 was, of course, quarterback with Mahomes and Kirk Cousins and Mariota for some reason. But Justin Jefferson is among 5 subjects. Now, George Kittle's one of them, not a receiver. Debo, also not a receiver, running back. Amon-Ra, respect, and Devonta Adams, respect. But, of course, Justin Jefferson is going to be here's going to be me watching all 8 of these episodes. It's going to be like, oh, Justin Jefferson, not Justin Jefferson, Ford. That's what it's going to be, man. Because I honestly don't care. So here's what's going to happen. Devonta Adams is going to talk about working hard. George Kittle's going to talk about working hard, playing hard. Debo's going to be talking about his running back idols growing up. And Amon-Ra is going to just list off the names of the receivers drafted above him and get all pissed. That's what it's going to be. But yeah, JJ walking the green carpet. I guess that's fitting. Looking good. He's got the money gun. So if you're ever out at the club, it's a fun way to make it rain. But now with the new contract, instead of ones, it's got to be like $2 bills, right? Although, obviously, it's probably fake money. Those look like Benjamins. Of course, Premier's probably in Los Angeles, so I feel like prop departments are pretty easy to find. That's all. Then Jefferson there in the I love the cream color jacket. Casuals everything around me cream. Meeting with Peyton Manning, the media mogul, the star of Monday Night Football Manning cast. What's that, man? Although that's a good jacket too. I feel like Peyton Manning's got a good tailor. Yeah. And also you see Jordan Addison posted on the gram. There at the premiere, supporting his guy Justin Jefferson. Love to see it. Also, hey, George Kittle rocking the top knot. I feel like that's cultural appropriation. Yeah. Well, so the fact that I found out I'm 87% Japanese, and also the wife and I are watching Shogun, a lot of man buns, a lot of things going on. Also, they would do a lot of things where they would like shave this part of the head, and then around it would be long, and then into a man bun or a ponytail. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like we're having focus issues. That happens, man. Anyways, Vikings had a couple issues in the 2020 NFL draft. Actually, turned out pretty good. I mean, the Vikings entered with the 22 and 25 overall pick. They drafted Justin Jefferson in 22 after the Eagles passed on Jalen Reagor. Even though, yes, I fully admit, I like Jalen Reagor in the draft. I was concerned that Jefferson was going to be slot only, but I'm happy to be wrong. More than happy. And then 25, they traded to the Niners, who took Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State, and the Vikings traded down. And at 31, took Jeff Gladney, rest and power. Now, Gladney didn't work out. It is what it is. But there was a certain defensive back that was on the board, right? And Antoine Winfield Jr. was just there chilling. And every now and then, people piss and moan about Kyle Hamilton. The Winfield Jr. miss was 10 times worse. 10 times. All right, so Sam Munson, tweeted out how Wirfs and Winfield Jr. were the best 1-2 punch in the 2020 NFL draft. Winfield Jr. ended up being a high second-round pick by the Bucs. The Vikings turned out pretty good in the first and second round. So Jefferson at 22, Gladney at 31, and then at 62 not 62. At the back end of the second round, they took Ezra Cleveland, who turned into a serviceable guard. Brian O'Neill was 62. Yeah, but I don't know. This one is just such a bad miss, and I think it precipitated the end of Rick Spielman, because that Zimmer would have just loved to have a guy like Winfield on the back end of his defense, even though the Vikings were pretty stacked at safety at the time. But I mean, the whole thing is, you knew Winfield Jr. Like his dad played for the Vikings from '04 to 2012 or something like that. And I mean, Junior, grew up in the building. He was in the locker room. He was at the practice facility. He played at Eden Prairie High School for most of his high school career. He played for the Gophers. But nah. Come on, man. Like that one's just like such a bad miss. And I mean, Spielman knew. Like Spielman probably watched Winfield Jr. grow up. It's tough, man. It's tough. Anyways, so NFL. It's actually made me like. So I'm not one who gets offended easily, but I just like to point out BS. That's all, right? Because I feel like I understand that people being offended is like currency nowadays, and people feel like it's the gold rush. It's like, hey, the more things I'm offended by, the more clout I have, or more social currency, or whatever. But I don't know, like the Suhan thing was BS, and this is also a little bit of BS. So the Vikings. Superstar tight end TJ Hockenson, top 3 tight end in the league. He's not 3 when he's healthy. At NFL, so I understand they're trying to do a nice thing. Can always count on at the Hockenson 8 to make big plays. Clapping emoji, #Skol. But the first clip is, I mean, it's a nice catch and run by Hockenson, but of course it's a dirty Kirby Joseph clip. It's ridiculous. But watch the whole clip. I mean, Hockenson makes plays, man. Like, yeah, we nitpicked, well, not nitpick, but we took him to task for, the drops, especially at the beginning of the season, where it definitely cost the Vikings. Put him on the 8 ball. Like, he had the game-winning touchdown against the Chargers in his mitts, and he dropped it, and it bounced up and right into Kenneth Murray's hands. They're just frustrated, man. I mean, this game is a game of inches. It's a game of bounces, but Hockenson with 4 different quarterbacks last year still almost had a 100 and 1,000 season. He would have if Kirby Joseph wasn't ACL hunting out there. All right, so can't wait to have Hockenson back. He's going to be that dude. Also, gloriousness, man. So these logos are from 1995. All right, so 95 is the first year of the expansion Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville Jaguars. Because you remember, in 96, both of them made the respective conference championship games. It was the Panthers and the stupid Packers, and it was the Jaguars and the Broncos. Now, we need to... Wait, no. The Jaguars beat the Broncos, so I guess it was the Patriots? Yeah, really doesn't matter. But, I mean, just look at the gloriousness of these logos. I mean, obviously the Vikings one hasn't changed because it's timeless, right? But you look back, I mean, the Seahawks is beautiful. The Eagles with the Kelly Green makes their fans look like less of douchebags. The Falcons with the red, they need to bring that back. The Oilers, the Titans need to cede the Oilers' history to the city of Houston. I understand that the team moved, but the team completely rebranded. Even though they were the Tennessee Oilers for like 2 years when they were playing in Vanderbilt Stadium or whatever. Bucko Bruce, what was all up in there? The Lions, the Raiders with the, inverted color scheme. I don't know if that's a thing. But this was the NFL on Fox. The Browns before they moved, which is actually hilarious when you think about it. Wait, Belichick was the Browns head coach at this point. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like... Oh, this does take you back. Oh, like the Broncos logo too. That's good to go. That's good to go, man. I just want to say it was a better time before the Ravens and the Texans were in the league. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. They know what they did. Also, knowing what they did is top selling jerseys in the UK. This is from NFL Shop. So, Travis Kelce, of course, probably a lot of them picked up by Swifties across the pond. It makes sense. I mean, if I didn't know that Taylor Swift was American and I never heard her talk or sing, I would have wagered that she was British. She just comes off as British, doesn't she? But of course, Kelce, numero uno over there, plus Mahomes, number 4. So I feel like the UK, like obviously there's hardcore fan bases from each team over there. I mean, the Vikings UK gets after things, man. Shout out across the pond. But the kind of cherry pick like the top team, although they couldn't do it with the Patriots because of history. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Chiefs rising up right now. Also, it was funny is that the rugby star Louis Rees Zammit is number 6 in terms of top selling jerseys. Caleb Williams, number 5 because of him being the number 1 pick. McCaffrey's up there. Tyreek Hill. I feel like even before the international series, I feel like there was always an odd number of Dolphins fans in the UK. I don't know if that's like a proximity to time zone thing, since the Dolphins are on the East Coast. I don't know. Jordan Love, CeeDee Lamb. But, looky, Justin Jefferson at 2. Followed by Aaron Rodgers, Bird Bones, Boniva. But, yeah, it's great to see. So, you would think that, again, when it comes to history, you'd think that English people would not be down with the Vikings because of, again, history. But this just speaks to Justin Jefferson's transcendence. Like, he is the face of the league. He is the national brand. He is the international brand. And the league really needs to build around him. And Under Armour really needs to build around him, too. I feel like they're really pissing things away, not turning Jefferson into the Michael Jordan of football. That's it, man. Ranking these offensive tackle duos. So I actually love these exercises now. I would still put the Eagles at 1 with Malata and the ageless wonder Lane Johnson. Respect. Just respect. But in terms of these 4 specifically, so you got Decker, who's probably on his way out with the Lions, and Penei Sewell, who just got paid. Eventually he's going to move to left tackle in all likelihood once Decker leaves. Tristan Wirfs, flip to the blind side. He's a badass. I love me some Tristan Wirfs. How does Iowa have so many good offensive linemen and tight ends, and they still average like 5 points a game? How do you score 5? Lou Gecke as well, Wirfs replacement right tackle. Then, of course, we got Bernard Raymond, the physical freak from Central Michigan, I believe. And then Braden Smith. Braden Smith's been around, man. Like, Braden Smith is pretty damn good. Pride of Auburn from back in the day. Yeah. But for me, it's O'Neal and Darrisaw. And now both of them have had their health issues, but knocking on all the wood, when they're healthy, they're elite. They're elite. So even though Penei Sewell's a badass, even though Tristan Wirfs is a badass, and I respect Taylor Decker, I'm taking Darrisaw and O'Neal because Darrisaw's A game is as good as anyone in the league, and Brian O'Neal is still a top 5 right tackle for my money. So yeah, Vikings all the way. There you go. So also, killing time before start training camp and preseason and whatnot. So we're actually just running in the background like all the All or Nothing series. So we watched Michigan, and we saw our guy Josh Metellus from back in the day, because it was Michigan 2016, I want to say. And then it was the Arizona Cardinals 2015 season. That was the year where the Vikings on Thursday Night Football, hey, Teddy, they had a great chance to beat Arizona, but of course Norv called like a 17-step drop on 3rd and long. Didn't quite work out. Yeah. But that was a fun. I love me some Bruce Arians. And then season 2 was the 2016 Los Angeles Chargers, who just moved. Jeff Fisher got fired mid-season, and their starting quarterback was Case Keenum, right? And it didn't work out the 2016 season because the 2017 season he signed a 1-year, $2 million deal to be the Vikings backup in 2017. Of course, we know what happened there. But yeah, Case Keenum run around, look like Michael Vick. It's good to go. Yeah. Finish up on a serious note. So obviously, Kyrie Jackson and his family and the Hazels and the Lightens aren't very far from our minds and our thoughts and our prayers. And this is a great move by Oregon. So they tweeted this out yesterday. Oregon family, we'll hold a candlelight vigil to celebrate the life of Kyrie Jackson. We would be honored if you would join us. All are welcome to attend. Wednesday, July 10th, Autzen Stadium. Please enter through Southgate entrance, 8 p.m. And that's just beautiful, man. And also, Kyrie, spent his final season up in Eugene, and he was an all Pac-12 player, and he was just fantastic for the Ducks, man. And it speaks to the caliber of the person too, that they picked the football stadium. They picked Autzen, and they're probably gonna fill it because of Kyrie. It's awesome. Yeah, very class move by the Ducks there. and also, so it's kind of went viral. So Vikings fan named Darren, who lives in the Maryland area, he went out and paid tribute to Kyrie Jackson out at the out at the scene. I tweeted this out. I didn't know Kyrie Jackson personally. Again, I believe Darren said that he's from that area in Maryland. He was beloved by so many, and his future was bright, and he was drafted by my favorite football team. I took it upon myself to leave him one of my many hats in remembrance. So you see a couple Vikings hats out there. And class move by Darren, and it's just so class move by Darren there. Great move by the Ducks as well. But that's it. You guys know what to do.